about this in the caucus. My vice chair, our vice chair, Representative Barbara Carpenter is here. Representative C. Clara Denise Marcel is here. But I say that often, and I certainly mean it. And I have tried to take that with me every single day into the Louisiana State Capitol. Because I know that each and every one of you, we all just got appointed by President Biden. It wasn't just me. And I don't say that lightly because, and I was at Judge Green's ceremony yesterday, and she said this, and I too believe it, that I am definitely the poster child for that African proverb that it took a village. And each and every one of you have played a part in the decision that the president made on last week. So today, in my very special place, the McKinley Senior High School Alumni Center, I am excited to inform you that I have accepted the president's nomination, and I will be officially resigning from the Louisiana legislature effective January 28th of this year to assume the role of Regional Director for the Small Business Administration for Region 6. And I want you to know that this was not an easy decision, even this morning, right, Brianne? It has been a constant conversation with family and friends, and not that I am not excited about the challenge that awaits. I have a specific love for the work that we have done in the Louisiana legislature for the past decade. And when I stood here in 2011, I knew that we would be successful because of my teachings here, my family, and the support that I had in the community. But I will tell you that the reality of the past 10 years has far exceeded the dream that I even had for myself. And 10 years ago, I would not have imagined the type of work that we have been able to do in the legislature. The opportunity to represent you all, not just in the legislature, but in Israel and Taiwan. People have asked me to visit and play a part of important decisions all across the world because of what you have invested in me. And over the years in the legislature, I tell this story as one of the moments that really helped me in my trajectory. We had just debated a bill on the House floor. It's a very important education bill that a lot of folks in this room were opposed to. And the bill had flown through the Senate. It had flown through the House. 2 hearings in the Senate floor debate, 2 hearings in the House. And we told folks, like, don't get weary because it's a 6-round fight and we don't get our hands around it until the 6th round. And the bill was debated, and we were able to defeat the bill. And I remember jumping up, and I was clapping and high-fiving, and I got a text from Senator Norby Chabert. And he said, good work, but don't ever do that again. He said, you don't have to dance when you score a touchdown. Just hand the ball to the referee and keep playing. And Norby and I text all the time, and I thank him for that. And about a week later, I was in the Senate committee, and the author of that bill was before me, and I had a bill that I needed him to vote on. And as I walked in, a couple people told me, your bill is going down. And I walked in, this was my first year in the legislature, and I went at the table, and I started to just go off. And I was like, look, I know that there's a bounty on my bill. I know that you have been told to vote it down, and no matter what happens, Ted James is going to be okay. And many of the senators looked very confused. And the senator that I know had put that bug out there, he was looking at me with a very serious smirk because he knew that he had gotten me. And after I left out of that committee, I got a call from Maxine Cormier, Liz Mangum, Ed Price, and they told me that is not how you act in a committee, right? If you are going to throw a punch, you better know how to take one. So that day I spent the entire afternoon going to every member of Senate Finance to apologize. And it reminded me of a very important lesson that no matter how far we go, no matter how far I go, I have truly benefited from people, many of you in this room, who always take the time to call me and correct me. And I never want to get to the point where you guys don't feel comfortable calling and checking me. I know you don't have that problem, Denise. Correct. But and that has been one of the real moments that I reflect on. And another one that I will share. The medical marijuana program was one that, before it was all popular and everybody was excited to author the bills, I was one of very few people that wanted to author a bill regarding medical marijuana. And I walked into House Health and Welfare one week and they voted my bill down. I think I may have gotten one vote. Then the next week, Senator Fred Mills walked in. They amended his bill to look very much like mine, and then his passed. And that really upset me. And it pissed me off, I'll be honest. And I was asked to carry the bill on the House floor, and I told them no. And then I had so many different reasons why Fred was the one that they chose. He was a Republican, he was older, he was white. I thought about all those things, but it never occurred to me because I was so busy, caught up in what it meant for me. I had to remind myself that Fred Mills is a pharmacist, so he may have been a better author. And over the years, I've learned that you have to remind yourself that it's not about you, it's about the work. And that type of attitude is the attitude that I promise each and every one of you that I will take to the Biden-Harris administration. And it was extremely humbling to learn that lesson. But I'm grateful that I learned it very early on in my legislative career. And over the past 10 years, I had Anthony pull up the number of bills. I think it was 156 bills that I've authored, and 54 of them are now law in this state. L.A. Wallet, criminal justice reform. Issues with, policing and voting, and I will tell you that we, members of the caucus in which I have been blessed to serve as chair, we have a few more members in the back. Larry Selders is here, Edmund Jordan. We were able to accomplish some great things over the past 10 years, particularly the last 2 or 3 years. And I want you all to know that this caucus is ready for the task of redistricting that starts on February 1st. We have been preparing since February of last year. And no one person, I know the blogs have been talking about we're doomed for failure. But the good thing about our side is no one person defines our party. No one person defines our caucus. So no matter where I go, if Denise decides to leave or Barbara decides to leave, we have put a solid foundation in place. On the 31st of this month, I will start with the Small Business Administration over Region 6. 5 states, there are 10 district offices throughout the state. The big question, no, I am not moving. I am born and raised here in Baton Rouge, and I ain't leaving. I will have to do a significant amount of travel, but I will always be a resident of East Baton Rouge Parish. That's the first thing. As regional administrator, I will oversee all of the programs within our region. One thing that I can't do, if you haven't asked me already, some have, the decision to forgive your flood 2016 laws, that is above my pay grade. So that is a conversation for Congressman Graves and Congressman Carter. And I know that they have continued to work on that, but I want you to know now that is above my pay grade. But there are so many opportunities that I see for small businesses as I've read and followed the president's plan to, number one, and most importantly, increase the percentages of small, minority, and women-owned businesses participating in our federal government. The president's goal to increase our contracted percentage by 50% in 4 years is something that I am gladly ready to take on. And I will be calling on many of you who are business leaders to educate you on SBA programs to make sure that we have an opportunity to grow and expand our businesses. Before I take questions, I want to say this to the people of District 101. First of all, thank you. I was elected in 2011 and re-elected twice without opposition, and I hope that over the past 10 years I've made you proud. But I have one more request. I care so much about District 101 that I'm not going to walk off and not do my part to make sure District 101 is not left in good hands. So as I leave, Vanessa, can you stand up? As I leave, my good friend, someone who has been there since day one, working in the community, working in the district, working in community organizations, working at the Capitol, Vanessa Caston-LaFleur has my full support to serve the people of District 101. And until the 31st, I will be doing all I can, Vanessa, to make sure that you continue the work that we started. And I can say we because you have definitely been there. And before I take questions, two more things. Number one, I've had one family member that has just been around the Capitol so much. My youngest niece, when she was younger, she used to want to come with me when I worked there, and I thought she was going to be the one to really jump into politics. But it's the oldest and the first whose birthday is today. Happy birthday, Olivia. And I see a lot, today is also a special day because it is the Founders Day for the greatest fraternity on this side of heaven, Kappa Alpha Psi. So happy Founders Day to all of my fraternity brothers who are here. With that, I'll take some questions.
In your experience in the legislature, what are some of the key changes you're looking to bring to the SBA program to make it better?
You know, one of the things that I've learned in the legislature is we have to meet people where they are, right? I know that there are a wealth of SBA programs that business owners, business and community leaders in this community and throughout the district don't know anything about. So I look to meet people where they are, right? Utilize the district offices, utilize the small business development centers. We have several here in Baton Rouge that many of us probably didn't know about. Southern has one, LSU has one. So I'm gonna take that same spirit of meeting people where they are to the SBA.
Do you plan on climbing up the federal ladder in the future?
Well, I'm focused on the job that I hadn't even started yet. But you know, I will tell you that I've learned that to never say no. I could not have imagined that I would be in this position 10 years ago. And whatever happens, happens, right? I know that empowered with the support of every person in this room, there's nothing that we can't accomplish if you all continue to do what you've always done. Push, pray, and inspire me. There's nothing that we can't accomplish. Yes, ma'am.
Do we know yet if there will be a special election or someone will be appointed?
So the legislature doesn't have appointments. I have talked with the speaker, and he has told me that he will call the election for, I think it's a March election. Qualifying for that election, if the speaker does call it in March, is January 26th, 27th, and 28th, which is very important. And I think that several of the members of the legislature, and I don't want to speak for everyone, fully support Vanessa. I would hope that, I think Vanessa is very capable of running a very successful campaign. I would hope that Vanessa is the only person to qualify. And that means that she will be seated during the redistricting session and the district won't go without representation. So it is very important for me that we help Vanessa get there.
Stepping into this new role, how do you feel about it? Are you nervous? Are you excited?
I'm nervous. I am, of course, excited, but when I walked into the legislature, I worked there for 6 years, right? So I knew the people, I knew the rules, I knew the process. I am walking into a situation blind. Out of the 10 district offices, I only know one person. And this is a young lady that I had the opportunity to meet during the Bayou Classic in a 15-minute conversation. But I do know that the studying and that I was and the nurturing that I received here and at Southern University and at Southern University Law School, it's not going to take long for me to catch up. And there are some very important goals that the administration has laid out. If my region does not lead in the increase in contracting opportunities for minority-owned businesses, I have not succeeded. And I am very much so encouraged by that. And there's one thing that I always carry, this chip on my shoulder. And that chip is going to make sure that we are successful in this next role.
Now, I know that that's kind of early, but with small businesses, we know that the pandemic is kind of like took some of these businesses down. Do you have a plan on how to help those people get back up from the pandemic?
There are several programs out there for businesses to not just grow and expand, but to help and continue to recover from COVID-19. There are certain specifics about the job that I'm not at liberty to discuss yet until I'm officially employed, but I've already had conversations with a lot of business owners, some who have benefited and some who have not. My good friend Calvin Mills, who's there, he knows the agency as a business owner. So there are lessons that I will quickly take, and that's one of the other things in the legislature. I always have asked for folks that have been impacted by the bills to come and talk, not just the lobbyists, because they're paid to have a position, right? Not to say that their position is not important, but the people who have been directly impacted are the ones that I've benefited from for the past 10 years, and I expect to carry that same type of attitude into the SBA.
Can you tell me what the SBA does on a day-to-day basis? And also, with your commuting, are you mostly going to the New Orleans regional office, or are you different regional offices?
I'll be all across the region, but mostly in the New Orleans regional office. Very early on, of course, I will be meeting with the leadership in all 10 of the district offices. A lot of that will be virtual because of course, the pandemic that we can't find our way out of. The most important function is the support for small businesses. You have an idea, you come to the SBA, they can help you from day one with a business plan, help you get your finances in order. If you are a business looking to expand, we have loan programs for small businesses. We have programs that will educate you on how to participate in federal contracting. And I will tell you, Will, that of course, I will take my orders from the president and the administrator, but it is very important to me to focus on that contracting piece. We have a very important opportunity with Cedric Richmond in the White House, Mitch Landrieu leading the infrastructure plan, and with me at the small business, that piece of making sure that small businesses can participate in their tax dollars, building stronger infrastructure is something that I'm going to be 100% focused on.
What do you think some of your biggest challenges are going to be in this new job?
Being away from Harper a little bit more. Just traveling and not, some days might not be able to pick her up. That's probably going to be the biggest challenge for me. I think that, I feel ready and able to learn the different dynamics. But, I think that largely is, the time away from that little precious little girl right there.
This is a great opportunity. Why do you think you were chosen?
I think I was chosen because all of the people in this room pushed me, right? People saw a sometimes ability in me that I didn't see in myself. And people continue to remind me of responsibility as a leader. I think that a lot of what I brought to the table after the 2016 flood, and that's another very important component of the SBA, is flood recovery. The work that, I don't talk a lot about it, but I do, work with the Urban League of Louisiana, and we have a small business entrepreneurship center. So the work of the SBA is not foreign to me. So I was able to bring that, and I think that the opportunity to really help expand the agency is something that I feel very confident in being able to help the agency grow. Anything else? Yes, ma'am.
Good morning to everyone. Happy New Year. I'm speaking on behalf of myself. Been in business for almost 40 years in insurance, and my daughter is probably going to get in my head for standing up making these comments. But I had something that I experienced just today that is kind of baffling to me
to someone that had a positive COVID test. So, of course, she is out. She went to get a COVID test and was told that she had something called a rapid fluid test, but that didn't clear her of the opportunity to wait a couple of days and come back to work. So for a small business person like myself to be absent, one person absent for 5 days or so until somebody can give her a positive information that she does not have COVID, I'm minus a person. So it was difficult for us to even get out of the office to be here today because you know we're not friends.
Yes, ma'am.
We had to, you know what, and college and all that. And I'm proud of you, by the way.
Thank you.
But you know, it's hurting me. I can't produce the way I should because I'm minus one of my major players, because we can't get a test result. Now wait a minute. It ought to be that I don't have to wait a whole week to be able to clear that this person can come back to work. I need help with that.
I'll make sure I bring that concern to Secretary Phillips. I think that's a little bit of an LDH issue, and I certainly understand the workforce component. And as I say, there are several programs, and on maybe not the January 31st, but maybe mid-February, I'll be able to really come and sit down and talk to you about a lot of the programs that we have that are offering direct assistance for business owners in your position.
At the beginning, it was a little more generous, but now it's like, you don't qualify.
I understand.
You don't qualify. But I qualify more now because I'm hurting more now than then because of back and then the drip over tonight.
I certainly understand. I'll be calling you, Ms. Andrews. I have your cell.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Anybody else? All right. Thank you all for coming. And again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for what each and every one of you have done to prepare me for this moment. Several other elected officials, our Mayor Pro Tem, Councilman Cole is here. Judge Tarver Anthony Smith is here. Who else am I missing? Y'all clap for them brothers. And our party chair, Louisiana Democratic Party, Katie Bernhardt, thank you for coming. And I see a future state rep who's there as well. Thank you all for coming. And I see two of my attorneys from criminal justice, right? I say without a doubt that the Criminal Justice Committee has the best staff. I'm sorry, Barbara. Criminal Justice has the best staff. Katie and Sadie, thank you so much, and I will miss you all, and I really hate that I'm leaving y'all with Denise. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you. Why didn't you?